Sorry for the lateness of this review. I just been having too much fun spending time with my family here in Guam. I mean, how could you not? Look how beautiful this looks. But that's not why we're here. We're here because I am Jormungand. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy is still here on the beautiful island of Guam, and today I'm here to review the anime Jormungand. Now, the anime Jormungand follows Coco Hekmat, an arms dealer, and her band of highly trained bodyguards as they travel around the world selling weapons as well as dealing with trouble along the way. Now, I've heard about this anime for a while now, especially from you guys. In fact, one of you even said that this anime is very similar to Black Lagoon, and honestly, when I was watching it, I did kind of get the same feeling as when I was watching Black Lagoon. And I have to say, for the most part, I really enjoyed watching this anime. First things first, as always, the animation is solid in this anime. The animation studio behind it, White Fox, I've never heard of them before, but they did a really good job in the animation department, and they really made the anime stand out with its artistic style. And I really loved how grounded the animation was, which helped it to give a very realistic and gritty feel to the anime. And the character designs are quite unique as well, especially with Coco, her brother Casper, and Jonah. I really love Jonah's eyes, how it's red and it's so emotionless. I just love the way that the character looked. Just a normal day in the island of Guam. Can't even get a fucking review done. And speaking of Jonah, I also found the story very interesting, where we follow this soldier kid who has lost everything to weapons and those who deal it, and has come to hate both of those, but yet, ironically, is traveling with the very person that he has come to hate. I found that very interesting. But not only is the main story very interesting, but also the various deals that they make with other people, and the many enemies that they face in each episode. And I should have mentioned this earlier along with the animation, but the action scenes were quite thrilling to watch. I mean, they felt very gritty, kind of going hand in hand with the animation feeling very gritty, but I really loved some of the combat scenes, the gunfights, the fist fights were actually my favorites. Just when you see characters go toe-to-toe with each other, it looked awesome. And since we're already speaking about the characters in this anime are just really cool, especially Coco's team. I mean, this is just a whole assortment of badasses put into one team together. And not only are they completely badass and cool, but they also get a lot of development, a lot of focus given to them. They get their own centric episodes that really shines a light on their backstory, and I just love when they actually develop each and every member of a team and make them relevant. But not only did they develop each and every member of the team, but I also felt a strong camaraderie, a strong connection with each member. They felt like a very strong team that would sacrifice themselves to protect the others. My two personal favorite characters in the entire anime are, of course, Coco and Jonah. I like Jonah the most because when I first was introduced to Jonah, I could already tell this kid was straight up badass. He just had this emotionless face, these red piercing eyes, and I was like, this kid is combat ready. Like, he will go into a battlefield and just waste everybody. And Coco herself is a really strong and fascinating leader who also goes through a development herself, and I really loved what her end game was. She just really intrigued me throughout the entire anime. And the relationship between Coco and Jonah I also felt was really strong, and I really liked it. And I guess the last thing that I really liked about this anime was its first opening theme. The second one was good, but the first one was the most memorable in my opinion. That song is just as badass as each of the characters in this anime. But as much as I really enjoyed the story, action, and characters in this anime, I did have a couple problems with it. In fact, many of the problems that I have with this anime are all connected to each other in some way, shape, or form. The first problem that I had was that many of the stories in the anime, because the anime is extremely episodic, had very lackluster endings. Like, they were building up to like this crucial moment to where they were about to face off with this character, but it just was like, I mean, it happened, the story is resolved, but it just didn't feel satisfying enough. Like, I felt like there should have been more to it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I felt like some of the stories in the anime could have had a more fulfilling ending to them. And kind of tying into the first problem, we got the villains. Many of the villains in this anime, or at least the enemies that Coco and her team have to face off against, were too easily dealt with, which left out any chance of future encounters with them, which would have made things even more interesting. And the reason that I had such a huge problem with this is because many of the enemies that Coco's team encounters were just as interesting and just as badass as themselves. And I would have loved to learn more about them, or to even see them encounter them in future episodes. Or hell, if you're going to get rid of these villains, at least make the episodes much longer. Most of the villains only last about 2 episodes. Just 2 episodes. That is not enough to show the true potential of these characters. I mean, yes, many of them are very badass, many of them are very maniacal, sadistic, we got that, but it would have been nice to see more. And it would have been nice to see them actually have the upper hand. I think there was one time where one of the villains, or one of the enemies, had the upper hand, but it didn't last that long. It lasted about 30 seconds, and then they deal with that villain immediately. At the end of the day, it just comes off as wasted potential. These characters, these villains, could have been more interesting as the series progressed, and maybe they could have been even a part of Coco's team. But instead of doing that, they just take them right out of the anime. And again, tying into that second problem, I felt like there was a huge lack of tension in any of these stories. And you know why? Because Coco's team always comes out on top. I never felt like there was a moment in the anime where they were on the ropes, on the run, they did not know how to deal with this threat. They always had the upper hand. And the problem with that is that at that moment, you really don't care what happens to the main characters, because you already know what's gonna happen. They're gonna come out on top and, you know, rinse and repeat to the next episode. When your main character, or in this sense, the main team in the anime, is so overpowered that nobody can stand up against them, and they can get out of any situation with ease, not only does that take out the challenge, but it also takes out the intrigue. And for me personally, this really detracted from the anime. I became less involved and less intrigued about the characters and the situations that they got into. I never feared for their lives. I always watched an episode and I was just like, oh, they're facing a new enemy, they're just gonna get out of it anyway. And sure enough, at the end of the episode, all done and dealt with. They just made it way too easy for the main character to get away with everything. Just a huge lack of a challenge. And the last problem that I had with this anime was the lack of backstory and exploration of this one character named Lem. Now granted, you do learn a lot about this character. You know that he is an excellent shooter. He's probably one of the best shots in the team. He's the most veteran of all of them. He's been with Coco since she was like little, actually worked for her father. And you know that he had a past relationship with somebody, and he's kind of like the old wise guy who gives out words of wisdom, and he goes on and rambles and stuff, kind of like me. But it would have been even more awesome if we could have explored more of this character's backstory, learned how he became a badass, who trained him, how he became such an expert marksman, how he met that one girl. So many questions left unanswered and unexplored. But overall, even with all those problems, at the end of the day, I still had a lot of fun watching Jormungand. It is just a fun anime through and through, and that's why I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's definitely worth watching. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you really enjoy it? Did you get a kick out of it? Or did you find it really boring and dull and you just couldn't get into it? And let me know, who's the most badass team in anime in your opinion? Comment below and let me know. And stay tuned, I will be watching and reviewing The Hobbit: The Battle of Five Armies. The review will probably come out tomorrow after this one. And hopefully I'll review Annie. And I do have one more anime review for you. And stay tuned this December 27th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Black Critic Guy, hopefully 30K celebratory live chat. I cannot wait to do it. I'm going to be doing it outside for your viewing pleasure, and we might have a few special guests, so stay tuned for that. And until the next video comes, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm 21 II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.